We'll just start over. Okay, so Surrealism, again, like I just said though, and you can read that, it's just a modern movement in art and literature where you're portraying your artwork as a dreamlike state. It's not super realistic. In some instances it is. Like this skull, the dimensions, everything in it is perfectly well done as far as realism is concerned. But, you know, where the crack in the skull or a bullet hole could be or whatever that might be, they got flowers drawn, trying to tell a story of what they're seeing, okay? When you look through this stuff, you're going to see a lot of fantastic, some of it's kind of scary, some of it's just super fun and kind of, I don't know how to say it, just like kind of trippy, kind of hippie-ish type stuff, okay? Just be careful what you're doing that it stays school appropriate, because it does have a lot of suggestive material when you start looking through this, okay? But again, back to Salvador Dali, he's one of my favorites, and Salvador Dali, I know all of you have seen it, where there's the painting with the tree and the melting clocks that are coming off and the numbers and stuff are dripping off. Salvador Dali also created a lot of paintings where there was animals with super long legs, or people and their hands are super exaggerated with fingers and so on. So those are the kinds of things that you're going to be doing with Surrealism. Is I only put one picture up there because I want you guys to do some research. I don't want you to copy somebody's either. Okay, I want you guys to really have fun and be creative with what you're doing. This is your time to create your own dreamlike state. Some of it's kind of cartoonish in some of the, like, added with it. You're going to notice there was a lot of, another one of my favorite artists is more kind of in the pop surrealism. You can look at pop surrealism because it was a newer form from regular surrealism. And Ed Roth was one of my favorite pinstripers at the time, and he created the Rat Fink. What the Rat Fink was a take off of Mickey Mouse. I don't know if any of you have ever seen the Rat Fink. So I used to draw that a ton. I actually got to meet Ed Roth, and then I ended up working for his company, painting motorcycles for a while. And that was really fun. Got to go to Sturgis, do all kinds of cool stuff. But anyway, he took one cartoon character and turned it into his own, and it was kind of like it's always kind of like a play. You'll see when you look around in there, you're going to see it's kind of a play on characters. How many of you have ever seen SpongeBob where they have his eyes hanging out and he's all bloodshot and crazy? Like, that's all pop surrealism, okay? You guys, when you look at that, you're going to notice that. The next movement that we're going to look at is the steampunk movement. It's another one that I think falls under surrealism, but it's a little bit different because it kind of goes through the industrial movement at the time when it was first invented. So, you know, when modern industrial started coming out, you see the guys with the big top hats, but they're turning into kind of like more, like mechanical versus just organic human form, or even just plain, like, you know, a plain hat. So what they're trying to do here is talk about how industry is impacting us. So how can you guys use that? How can you guys use that in a more modern form? What do you think? Computers, digital type era, right? Everything's a little bit different. Nobody wears hats like this anymore, so what could you guys use? What's one of the things that is really plaguing us right now? So one thing that they talked about is they talked about a lot of what's going on politically or whatever during their time. What about now? Masks, shots. I mean, sky's the limit, right? You guys have so much to express right now. This should be a fun project. And even with the surrealism can go into that type of, it doesn't even have to be the steampunk, but the steampunk has a lot of hard geometric type shape in it versus where the other one could be a lot more organic. And that was one of the main focuses, you guys, in this project, is we're working with geometric and organic shapes, still focusing on the shading aspect, still focusing on if it's supposed to look like a top hat, that it looks like one, but it still could be exaggerated. Okay, still working on trying to create clean artwork. The difference is here is you could choose, like, if I want to add a little bit of white pen, like if I want to use a different color piece of paper, I do have some color, so if you decide you want to do something in this steampunk where you want to be able to use some white color pencil or charcoal, you could. Okay, we can get you some colored paper. That's what this is on. This is on the colored paper so that they can do a lot of other stuff with it. I don't want to introduce any color pencils or anything into it like that yet. The only thing that you guys can work on with is the black and white. You can have colored paper if you want, or it can stay straight white paper with pencil. Okay? Some of you have a really good idea. I might even let you use ink with, if you show me that you can handle the ink without us ever practicing it, you can do ink with your pencil for drawing one. Some of you probably already have some of that kind of skill down, where you can use ink and pencil, because you can see the roughs hatching in some of these areas, and the stippling in this other one with some regular pencil shading. It really looks good together. So it's up to you guys what you want to do. But that's the assignment. So I want you guys, for drawing one, start researching that. You can look through this, but I don't have a lot more on there, just because basically I want you guys to search steampunk, pop surrealism, and surrealism. Those are the things you want to look at. Okay? So remember, when it goes to grading, when you're looking at your grading rubric, when you come over here to look for learning targets, did I hit my learning targets? It's the ones that you had last time. Shading, your contour drawing is nice and clean. And then the new ones where you're using organic geometric shapes in it. Okay? Now, it doesn't have to be that they are both of them. It could be mostly geometric and maybe a little bit of organic, or the other way around, a lot of organic and maybe just a little bit of geometric. Okay? It could be mostly one or the other. Any questions? Okay, research, and then when you come up with your individual questions, I'll come and answer them. Okay?